Merry Christmas, one and all. Happy Hanukkah, joyous Kwanzaa. Happy holidays is what we're really trying to say, whatever holiday you are celebrating. Today, we're talking about Christmas. So I hope you're following all the traditions out there, taking the kids to your local mall or Cabela's or whatever to see Santa. Santa Claus, is it strange to anyone else that we call him that? Like, there's an evolution. I want to break down the etymology of this word real quick. Okay, Santa Claus, right?
Mm-hmm.
Santa, which translates to saint. All the towns in California with Santa something in front of them. And then Nicholas, okay, we changed that. I can see that turning into Nicholas, Klaus, you know, very German name, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But we now call good old Saint Nick Santa Claus, and mostly we just refer to him as Santa. So we're just calling this dude the Saint, which is also a Val Kilmer action picture. So I'm thinking like Weird Al style, the night Santa went crazy. You know what I'm talking about? Just
okay.
Bandoleros all over him. He's just... But no, we are talking about Krampus from 2015 today, everybody, directed by Mike Dougherty. Let's get into it. I'm Dusty Lane.
I'm Jason Mitchell.
And we are the Cenobites.
Hello?
I came for you. We have such sights to show you.
What an excellent day for an exorcism.
I said, I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains in.
I want to play a game.
What's the boogeyman?
As a matter of fact, it was. This is God.
We all go a little mad sometimes. Haven't you?
But sometimes that is better.
And welcome back to Oblivion, everyone. We're talking once again about Krampus from the year 2015, directed by Mike Dougherty, who also did Trick or Treat. That's always a yearly movie to throw on for me.
Yeah, man. Trick or Treat, Superman Returns from 2006, bunch of Godzilla shit, and some X-Men shit, too.
Yeah, a bunch of superhero stuff. That explains the comic book aspect of a lot of his movies.
Right.
This one's got a runtime of 98 minutes, which felt long, if I'm being honest, man. It kind of took a while to get through this one.
Like 308.
308 minutes. PG-13 rating, which we're getting a little lighter on. I don't think we've done a single movie yet that wasn't R.
I thought Ready or Not wasn't R, or was it?
I think it is. I'm pretty sure it is.
Okay.
But yeah, this one's a little lighter. We're, focusing on the Christmas side. This is a family movie, Jason, all right?
Yeah.
Sorry, you can't have tits.
I know.
Studios involve Legendary Pictures, Zam Pictures, and distributed by Universal. This was filmed in New Zealand, but as far as setting, I didn't really get anything, but it's got to be the U.S. somewhere. Somewhere it snows.
Yeah, I don't know. Suburbia.
And our plot is a little boy should be more careful what he wishes for because this gets all kinds of fucked up.
For fuck's sake.
Our cast list here, we're dealing with the Engel family, first of all. So we've got little Max, which fucks everyone's Christmas up, played by MJ Anthony. We've got Tom, played by Adam Scott. Sarah, played by Tony Collette. Those are his parents. His sister Beth is Stefania Levy Owen. And his grandma, Omi, he calls her throughout the runtime of this, played by Krista Stadler. We've also got Howard. This is another, like, Rick Hoffman dude. Like, whenever I see him in a movie, I'm like, fuck.
I mean, I wasn't mad to see him, but right away I was thinking, what the hell is he doing in, like, a horror movie?
But it's absolutely the character that he's playing. This is David Koechner, by the way, who you might recognize from, like, Anchorman.
Right.
But he's just always so over the top. This is no exception. His wife, Linda, played by Allison Tolman. That's Sarah's sister. Their Aunt Dorothy, played by Conchata Ferrell. Their children, Jordan and Stevie, played by Queenie Samuels and Lolo Owen, and also Howie Jr., played by Maverick Flack. That's another one of those little shit kids that you see.
Fuck yeah.
He reminded me of the kid from Bad Santa, and I think that one is the same one actually that's in Trick or Treat. But they don't
Howie
use
Jr.
him again for this. He's probably a little too old at that time.
Your name is Thurman Merman.
Krampus himself, played by Luke Hawker. And this is an interesting little tidbit here. We've got a character named Lumpy, played by Seth Green.
What?
Crazy.
Yeah, I did not
And just a
notice.
voice of one of the little elves, I'm sure, something like that, or maybe
Okay.
one of the gingerbread men. I don't know.
Huh.
But yeah, it was interesting seeing his name pop up in this. Obviously, there's no indication of a Seth Green anywhere within a fucking mile and a half of this movie.
Right.
But cinematography by Jules O'Loughlin and music by Douglas Pipes. That's appropriate.
Poips.
Douglas Pipes. Yeah, man, overall, I do enjoy this movie. It's a nice departure from your normal, traditional Christmas movies you always throw on.
Right.
This is good for a horror fan to throw on for something with a little different vibe to it. But yeah, let's get into this. To kick us off, we get a sick-ass, icy, frozen-over Universal Pictures logo with just the sounds of winter winds whipping through the trees or across some fields or some shit. Just that pulls you into a great place, setting the tone of this movie. It's oof, cold, desolation,
Right.
we're already fucked. That switches to some distant sleigh bells and Christmas music, orchestral jingle bells specifically. Our first image here is a big wreath hanging at the front of a big box store called Mucho Mart. Jesus. No,
Sick,
thank you.
dude.
The doors open on a ravenous crowd where it looks an awful lot like the episode we released a month ago with the Black Friday sale from Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's what I said too. It definitely looks like Black Friday. Shit's hitting the fan. Maybe not to the same degree.
No.
Thanksgiving, nobody's getting murdered, but people are getting ran over, essentially. People are falling off of ladders.
Yeah.
Customers are falling.
I don't
Cookie
know.
towers are tumbling.
There's a couple of incidents that I feel like could have easily ended in someone getting killed.
Not that we saw, though,
No, not that we
unfortunately.
saw. No confirmed kills here. But yeah, people stampede their way in, immediately trample this greeter in a Santa hat. They didn't fucking deserve that.
The fuck out of the way.
I just wanted him to make him feel welcome. Somebody literally hurdles over them. And another employee is hanging onto a rack to get away from the chaos. That dude looked a lot like Keegan-Michael Key.
Right.
It was not, but dead ringer for him. People are tumbling all over the place. This is super dangerous. Can we please just stop having sales like this that turn people into complete assholes, physically assaulting each other over cheap TVs?
Gotta get your good sale.
I guess, man.
It's America.
Or maybe, I don't know, free healthcare, cheap car insurance, or even just gas or groceries. Something to make it a little less expensive, to make people feel like they need to maim each other and department stores to survive. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. Anyway, madness all over this store. My favorite is the lady security guard literally dragging two dudes down the aisle.
Yeah, dude, Miss Trunchbull got a fucking after-school job.
Trunchbull.
Yeah, we get a fucking shot of her ass.
I was thinking, she's looking like Yokozuna doing a strongman competition, dude.
She's carrying two men out
Yeah.
of the fucking store.
Yeah, people are literally beating the shit out of each other. There's a couple getting tased on the floor next to each other, flopping around. That's fun. It cuts to the faces of the security guards tasing them, and they look like they're way too into what they're doing.
Oh, yeah.
You ever see cops or security guards that are clearly on a power trip and just salivating at the chance to, oh my God, I get to use my taser fucking finally.
You beat the shit
Fry,
out of
bitch.
somebody.
Right.
Yep.
Cut to some kids sitting on Santa's lap. This is always hysterical. The parents are telling her to smile, but this little girl is losing her shit. Get me the fuck off this fat stranger's lap. That's good instincts, really.
Hell yeah.
We make our way up to the register, and employees, shoppers, everyone looks completely fucking dead inside. One lady's freaking out about how much money she's spending, yep, been there basically every year. Even with Christmas bonuses, shopping is still awful. Thank God tax season's just around the corner. Give me that sweet, sweet refund, baby. The one thing I will say here is that this whole opening really has nothing to do with the rest of the movie. It doesn't really match the tone at all. Except we cut to another area of the store and we see some sort of children's Christmas program happening. But they can't even get through that cordially because a couple of the kids are fighting at the front of the stage. This is our main kid here, Max.
Right.
Max, really? Named after the Grinch's dog? We also see three of our other main characters. We have Max's dad, Tom, his mom, Toni Collette. Her name is Sarah. One of my favorite actors of all time. Fuck yeah, Hereditary. Check out our episode on that if you haven't.
Yep.
So they're running up to stop this fight while Max's sister Beth is just standing in the audience filming the fight on her phone.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Good call. It's just a kid fight, you know what I mean? There's no need to stop it, really. And I have no idea what in the hell is going on with this play they're putting on. The kid on top of Max is dressed in, a wise man costume, so you're thinking, okay, we got the nativity, Jesus and Mary in the manger, all that stuff. But Max is in a Rudolph costume, so what the fuck?
I don't think I even noticed. I was just let him have it.
You're
kid.
blending too many. We can't have Rudolph in the Jesus scene. I'm sorry.
Right. whatever.
Like, which Christmas theme are we going with here? While this fight is happening, the pianist providing the accompaniment is totally oblivious that there's anything happening at all. She's just wrapped up in her music, old lady playing piano.
Yeah, she's smiling.
Max picks up a handful of fake snow and hilariously smashes it into this other kid's face. Max's parents and some teachers finally break up this fight as Bing Crosby's It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Christmas fades out.
Mm-hmm.
We pan back through the chaos of the store, and there's a cool glossy effect on the camera here as we fade to black and into our next scene, which opens on a TV in a kitchen, playing, I think, the 1938 version of A Christmas Carol, while a shitload of food is being prepared.
Oh, yeah.
There's breads and cakes and cookies and all kinds of goodies in here. Omi is making them. That's the kid's grandma, played by Krista Stadler. She's German as fuck.
Yeah, absolutely.
She stops what she's doing and looks up for a second, like she felt a disturbance in the force. But that's when the rest of the fam gets home and they're all bickering about the fight that just happened. Dad wants Max to write an apology letter to his class. And Mom's like, what the fuck, dude? That kid was like twice your size. You need to learn how to pick your battles.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's saying he's being a dick, which is pretty typical of kids, you know?
Yeah, Max tells us he's like, Ben Kuklinski is always ragging on Christmas. All right, well, now I'm torn. Same kid. Same. Ben told a bunch of other kids that Santa was a cheap marketing ploy invented to sell Pepsi, and Beth corrects him. She's like, no, it's Coke, you idiot.
You know what I meant.
Selling Coke is way different than selling Pepsi. But she's like, I don't even know why you care. Max fires back, well, someone's gotta. And that kind of establishes him as our character here. Like, he's keeping the Christmas spirit alive between him and Omi. They're the ones that legitimately care about what's going on here.
They're the only ones that believe, Dusty.
Right. Adam Scott's like, all right, whatever. The point is, why was starting a fight your solution, basically? Max is like, look, dude, I was under the influence. This kid needs to stop watching so much TV. Also, the look that Toni Collette gives him when he says that is enough to melt all the icicles off your gutters. Under the influence of fudge and candy canes, apparently. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think you should be giving a I'm sorry for what I did when I was drunk talk at like the age of 8.
Right.
So, speaking of appropriate ages for things, Sarah says, well, here's the deal. Every kid has to find out eventually. Max says, well, I know. I just didn't want it ruined. Like, I get it. I really do. Like, I used to do, every Christmas Eve was one of my favorite things because I always had my daughter on Christmas Eve into Christmas. Mm-hmm. We always did the thing where, you make the cookies, you leave out some vegetables for the reindeer, you write Santa a note,
right?
And then she goes to bed, and I got to fucking write one back and deal with all the presents and everything. And everybody bitches about it, but they love it,
right?
It sucks when the magic gets sucked out of it. Like, now that she's older, I haven't had that in, how long now, and I get it. You want to hold on to it for as long as you can. I get it.
Oh, yeah.
So Tom turns the TV up. There's a news report about the war on Christmas, which is basically the whole Merry Christmas versus Happy Holidays thing. Look, guys, what if I told you that it literally doesn't matter? At all. And you're perpetuating the animosity for zero reason. But I digress. Tom comes over and gives Omi, his mom, a kiss on the forehead and says, hey, everything looks great, but don't work too hard. Sarah bought a bunch of Christmas cookies at the store. Omi's like, yeah, nein danke. There are 0 store cookies here today, please. Get that bullshizer out of here. He walks away to take a call from Roger, whoever that is, and Sarah's like, dude, I thought you weren't working on Christmas. And he was like, well, I still need to take out a couple calls or whatever. So there's a little bit of trouble in paradise, looks like. Mm-hmm. Max goes, hey, wait, guys, aren't we going to watch Charlie Brown and wrap Christmas presents together like always? And Adam Scott responds with, after your bullshit today, you can do that by yourself. Okay. Couple of things with this. First of all, why are you guys wrapping presents as a family? Doesn't that defeat the purpose and ruin the element of surprise?
Right. Seems strange.
Second, I found it interesting that in both of Michael Dougherty's big movies here, this and Trick or Treat, there's a mention of Charlie Brown, but in way different lights. There's that little kid in that yells at his dad, Charlie Brown's an asshole.
Nice.
And finally, damn dog, you're going to make this kid rap everything by himself and forego a family tradition because you're mad at him for a minute for being a kid?
Yeah, it's rude.
You're going to regret that later. That's a big step. Tom also drops the bomb that dun dun dun. Max's cousins will be here any minute.
Oh, shit.
Dude, this is very Christmas Vacation.
Right. Fucking in-laws.
Tom returns to his phone call and tells his boss it's a Christmas cluster F over here. Damn it, PG-13. Sarah wants Help from Beth hanging a picture, and Max is still trying to save Christmas like, wait, Mom, Charlie Brown. They do not give a single fuck and just quietly slink away, which leaves him in the kitchen alone with Omi. And she tries to cheer him up, speaking exclusively German. She's like, ja, did you finish your letter to Krampus? Santa? Actually, that brings me to another question. Why does Santa have so many aliases? You got St. Nicholas, Kris Kringle, Papa Noel. Is this dude doing something with these kids that causes him to keep having to change his identity? And having to live somewhere like the North Pole where no one can extradite him? Anyway, this kid pulls out a letter from his pocket that just says Santa Claus, the North Pole, in shitty handwriting. Like, look, dude, I can put this letter in the mailbox, but it ain't going anywhere. Right? There's no street address, no zip code, no postage. Looks like you're getting disappointment for Christmas.
Post office is really picky, you know?
It is. He tells his Omi that he doesn't know what to ask for. How about a new family, kid? Grandma says, well, whatever, you'll figure it out. Right on cue, in the background, we hear Beth and Sarah arguing about the family coming over. Beth's like, what the fuck, they suck, dude. Sarah's like, well, whatever, they're family. I mean, I think I've had the conversation on the pod before that I don't buy the whole blood is thicker than water nonsense necessarily. Mm-hmm. Just realize sometimes that some people need cut out of your life, doesn't matter who they are, like these shitheads. And Beth's like, I'm not sharing a room with girls who pee standing up. Oof, roasted.
You know, I definitely didn't understand what she was talking about until
they walk in
a little bit later.
Yeah. She goes, last time they were here, I found shit in my bed, Mom. Human shit. Sarah blames the dog as she hangs yet another shitty family Christmas portrait. Beth reminds her, she's like, they are why some people shouldn't be allowed to breed. Your words, Mom, not mine.
Right.
Toni Collette's like, after she walks away, she goes, I said maybe they should have to take a test first. Fuck.
Right.
Which, it's not a terrible idea.
Right. I agree.
They give us a shot of the family portrait, and Toni Collette is the only one looking at the camera and smiling. Adam Scott's staring off into space. Both kids look like they'd rather be literally anywhere else. And Santa is staring dead at Beth's ass.
Yes, he is.
You old perv. Jesus Christ. So it's present wrapping time. Omi and Max are still hanging out. Max asks her if she really still believes in Santa, and she's like, of course, but he's also what you make of him. She says to believe in him is to believe in the true spirit of the holiday, the spirit of giving, of sacrifice. And she trails off, and her face turns dark when she says the word sacrifice. Like, what aren't you telling us, Grams?
I seen this and was just, fuck off. All right. What the fuck ever. Omi's cool, though. She's got some cookies here.
She's you know what? You know? She's the only one in this movie that knows what the fuck is up.
Right. I mean, what aren't you telling us, Omi? Well, we're going to find out later. She's kind of an ass, too.
I mean, a little bit, but she was hoping that it wouldn't come to that. Like, everything in the movie isn't necessarily fucked just yet.
Right.
But she changes the subject really quick. She's like, how about some Christmas cookies? Seems like Max is onto her, and he gives her a little look right here, but we get a quick shot of the exterior of the house, looking like a watered-down Griswold family house. Up in Beth's room, she's talking to her boyfriend. No, not Santa. She says her mom is popping Xanax like candy. She goes, tonight we're making a Japanese snowflake tree or some shit. Takes a lot of work to make our family look more awesome than it actually is. And this dude on the Zoom call is like, snowflakes are cool, but I got a better idea. And he pulls out this huge holiday-themed bong.
Yeah, candy cane bong. Sweet, man.
And Beth likes the sound of that, but she's like, nah, dog, I'm stuck. Suddenly, the house starts rumbling. And we hear the sounds of an engine outside. Speaking of the Griswolds, looks like fucking Cousin Eddie's here with his brood.
Yeah, Jesus.
We cycle through everyone in the house reacting to their arrival, and no one is happy. What the fuck are they driving, by the way, that's making the house shake like this? A fucking tank?
We end up finding out later it's a fucking Hummer.
Yeah.
She got a sick-ass Hummer.
Right. Max finishes writing his letter to Santa, importantly, just before the engine cuts off. The doorbell starts ringing just as Sarah finishes stuffing the stockings. She repeats to herself, it's Christmas, a few times to try and, like, get her shit together like it's a mantra, like, it's Christmas. Christmas. I can fucking do this. It's Christmas. And then she opens the door with the biggest smile. Merry Christmas!
Oh, yeah.
Her sister Linda, played by Allison Tolman, walks in, gives her a big old hug. Linda might be my favorite person in this movie. I know she's supposed to be like dumpy and a like trashy family or whatever, but she's cool. She's nice. Sweet voice, sweet face, sweet disposition, but not too sweet, you know? She like doesn't handle bullshit, but she's like the nicest person in the house, basically. Meanwhile, her husband, Howard, David Koechner, is a complete fucking opposite of that. The douchiest of douchebags. He does show some acting chops in this movie, though, at certain points. Like, unlike his Anchorman persona, for instance, where he's just constantly cranked up to 11.
Right.
So this isn't him at his worst, but he bothers me, which, of course, is the point.
He plays the same guy in every movie.
Yeah, and that's exactly why they throw him in here, to get on your nerves and irritate you.
Right.
And it fucking works. Sarah says she's glad they could make it. Linda mentions there were accidents all over the freeways, and otherwise it was nothing but crazy talk radio for 6 hours. Ugh.
Yuck.
She also mentions, oh hey, we brought you a little taste of home, just as this little shit kid walks in carrying a gross looking like cheesy potato dish or something.
Yeah, little Howie.
Yeah, this kid, like I said, he looks exactly like just that little curly headed fucking, there's nothing behind his eyes, you know?
Yeah, lights are on, but nobody's home.
Exactly. It's horrifying. It's fucking horrifying. Sarah goes, oh, thank you. It looks, wow.
Yeah.
Howard walks in with an armful of presents and he goes, move it, Linda. You have to keep the traffic jam going. These presents are wrapped in like newspaper and grocery store ads and coupons and shit. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, he immediately drops one too.
Yeah. Tom walks over to help him, but he drops everything right before he gets there and he somehow blames Tom for that.
Right.
Who apologizes anyway, but there's all kinds of glass shattering sounds as the presents fall. Howard goes, would you give the butler the night off, Tom?
Yeah, what the fuck, man? What
Jesus
a dickhead.
Next walks in Rosie, the dog, played by Thor. Fuck yeah, Thor.
Aw.
Howard's like, oh, hey, you guys don't have a cat, right? It's a little fucking late now, right?
Yeah, oh, you little son of a bitch. I would have been so pissed off.
Right. Behind the dog, in come Jordan and Stevie, who are girls but dressed like boys. Clearly, Dad had other ideas about his first kid or two. Linda says they're cranky because the Steelers lost.
Oh, now we're finding out the whole standing when you pee thing.
Mm-hmm, right. Linda wants them to tell Sarah about their presidential fitness award, but one of them literally shakes her head no. Linda dips back out to the truck. Max tries to say hi to Howie Jr., but like I said, this kid's just a big old black hole, like mouth hanging open all the time.
Right,
don't waste your
staring.
breath.
Right. Yeah. Nothing's processing.
But he's trying to guess what this shell of a kid asked Santa for Christmas, and he's like, a toy car, video games, a phone? And then Beth leans over and says, dialysis? While Max is trying to be nice and cordial, like you're supposed to be on Christmas, the boy girls notice that he has a letter to Santa in his pocket.
Mm-hmm.
We hear a new voice yell into the house, Christ on a stick, would it kill you to shovel your walk? I could have broken a hip out there. And this is fucking Aunt Dorothy.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Shut the fuck up already.
You'll know her from things like Edward Scissorhands, Mystic Pizza, 2.5 Men, Mr. Deeds.
Oh, yeah.
This character is grating too, just always so brash and sarcastic about every little thing, always.
Yeah, she immediately heads to the kitchen to get Mary and bitches the whole fucking way.
Right? Yeah, when she walks in, Linda goes, surprise, don't be mad, I fucking brought Aunt Dorothy even though you clearly didn't want me to.
Ugh.
Dorothy walks up to Sarah and she goes, your sister's no Mother Teresa, but at least she swings by once in a while to make sure I'm not dead. And she goes, where's your nog? I need to get Mary. She hands her coat and walks away, and that's all the encouragement she needs. She leaves and makes a comment about, oh, looks like Martha Stewart threw up in here. Dude, quit being a dick, man.
Yeah, she sucks.
Howard apologizes about leaving the door open, but Tom says it's cool. He closes it, but then realizes, hey, why are you guys down a family member? They forgot the fucking baby in the car.
It was only a minute.
I mean, okay. I guess, dude, but Jesus Christ. Linda says she told Jordan to bring her in, but Jordan's like, it's not my fucking kid. Like, yeah, but it's your sister, you little shit. Howard and Tom go out to get the kid and the rest of the crap. When they walk out, Sarah tries to take the opportunity while she's alone with Linda to say, a holiday roast is a surprise. Hemorrhoids are a surprise. Aunt Dorothy is a fucking nightmare. Why did you bring her here?
Gross.
Linda's like, well, look, dude, she tricked me. We came over to drop off gifts, and she came to the door with a fucking suitcase. She goes, what was I supposed to do? Tell her she had to spend Christmas alone? Fucking, ugh. Families.
Yeah, damn.
Sarah goes, well, you could have warned me that one of your mistakes was about to become my problem. Linda says, you think everything I do is a mistake. Probably started with the husband, I would imagine.
Right.
But speaking of which, Howard walks back in holding baby Chrissy out in front of him, and he goes, oh, this warhead's armed, of course, then passing the baby off to Linda to change.
Yeah, whole truck smells like shit.
He tells Tom to set the playpen up wherever, and he calls him T. Ugh. Fucking insufferable. No, thank you. If you ever start calling me D, we're not friends anymore.
Hey, yo, D.
Aunt Dorothy walks back in and asks what's for dinner. We cut to a family dinner that's a perfect blend of asshole relatives a la Christmas Vacation and the nightmarish depravity that is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And to get the ball rolling, Howie Jr. is just downing a fucking 2-liter of some Mountain Dew-like soft drink, like Surge or something. And he turns and burps at Beth, which, of course, Howard laughs at. These people are just fucking gross.
Dude, Howard's awesome. He said he's getting Howie into game shape. He's going to be a lineman.
Yeah, he starts yelling when he burps, and he's like, "That's my boy." And Tom's like, "It sure fucking is." He goes, "Yeah, I'm getting him into game shape. By the time he gets into high school, he's going to be the biggest lineman in the state."
Right.
Howard is always making denigrating comments to Tom. Here's another example of that. He goes, "You ever spend any time on the field, Tommy?" He knows the answer, but he's just trying to hold something over his head to make him feel like less of a man, kind of.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Tom says, "Well, no, I didn't have time. I was training in the Eagle Scouts."
Wow.
And Howard turns to the kids and he's like, "Oh, yeah, the Eagle Scouts. Kids, that's where you weave baskets and help little old ladies across the street." Tom's like, "Nah, bitch, survival training was involved."
Right.
Howard fires back with, "The only training I need is my old smoke pole." Ooh, is that what the kids are calling it these days? "And a big old box of buckshot I keep out in my truck. Remember that for later."
Oh, yeah.
He goes, "A shepherd has got to protect his flock." Linda interrupts him and says, "No gun talk at the dinner table." Damn, how much of a problem is this at home that they made a rule for it?
Yeah, Howard says, this family needs a little gun talk.
Right. Sarah tries to change the subject and says, "Chrissy seems to be enjoying her Gravlax," whatever the fuck that is, dude. Gesundheit.
Yeah, I don't know.
Gravlax? What is a Gravlax?
Fucking weird-ass food, man.
Somebody spills something on the floor. The dog comes up to eat it. Linda tells the kids to be careful. Aunt Sarah likes everything to be clean and perfect, and that's why she makes so much food that you can't pronounce.
Damn, cheap shot. And you said Linda was nice.
Dude,
Jesus
the
Christ.
claws are out, though, because Sarah fires back with, "Well, I thought you might want to break from macaroni and cheese with hot dogs."
Yeah. Ooh.
Woo!
Damn.
Everyone's trying their best here, folks, okay? Sometimes you gotta just get right down in it. Aunt Dorothy pipes up and says, "Bruh, who doesn't make a ham on Christmas?" She goes, "What are you now, a Jew? God damn, Dorothy, easy with that shit."
Hey. Woo.
Woof. Toni Collette stands up and says, "Oh, time for dessert." Adam Scott tries to reassure her and says it's great, and Howard's like, "Nah, it's dry."
Yeah. Damn, dude. Get the fuck out of my house.
Tom's like, "Well, mine is great," and Howard says, "Well, maybe I should have gotten yours." What the fuck? Who are you?
Dick.
Tom says, "Man, why can't you just quit being a complete and total bag of shit and say something nice for once?" Howard cuts him a deal and he goes, "Well, I'll say that it's good if she gets back and dessert is indeed good."
Damn. Like
Jesus.
I said, the fuck out of my house.
Are there actually people out there like this? Like, fuck.
No way.
Krampus, please come early and eat these bitches. Except Linda, she's cool. Anyway, Stevie leans across the table and says to Maxie Pad, she calls him. She goes,
Damn.
Hey, you know what happened to Santa?" She says his sleigh crashed in the Rockies. Both his legs were crushed. The frostbite took care of his pain, but not his hunger. He had to eat his reindeer, including Rudolph. 8 tiny reindeer. Get it? All right. So clearly they're assholes, but at least that was creative. I did enjoy that story.
Yeah.
Max throws something at the girls, but Beth and Tom say, "Hey, cut it out." Howard's like, "Oh, well, they're just playing. Let them play." We cut to Sarah in the kitchen torching up some creme brulee or something. She's muttering to herself about macaroni and cheese and hot dogs, but then, all of a sudden behind her, "So what kind of godforsaken concoction are you whipping up now? You know how this fancy food clogs my pipes." Fucking Aunt Dorothy is just standing behind her and scares the shit out of her. How long have you been there?
Talking shit right away, too.
Yeah, dude. She doesn't stop. So Sarah turns it around on her. She goes, "How about we go to your trailer for Christmas next year? And after you've spent weeks decorating and cooking and cleaning, I might just waddle in and start bitching and moaning about everything that you've worked so hard on."
Yep, she's had enough. I like it.
Dorothy tries to calm her down, but she says, "No, fuck that. Stay out of my kitchen for your sake." Ooh, what does that mean? We got like a fucking poison, drowning, claw, or knife. So many ways to take a life, am I right? We cut back to the table, and Howard is talking about how reindeer are a sustainable food source in Alaska and Canada. Cool. Tom and Omi look like they'd much rather finish this dinner in complete silence if possible.
Oh, yeah.
Tom interrupts with some weird shit. He goes, "This time of year, we refer to reindeer as a transportation system for Santa." Right. Yeah.
Trying not to upset the kid, I guess. Which, is it just me, or does...
But he knows. Come on.
I'm like, Max doesn't seem as young as he's coming off.
No.
You see his Santa letter?
He's wise beyond his years.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
For sure. Jordan leans over and says, we know you still believe in the big fat creeper. Hey, come on, you shouldn't be talking about Aunt Dorothy like that. We all believe in her. Max says she doesn't know what she's talking about, but Stevie somehow snuck his letter out of his pocket, and he lunges across the table to get it back, but Beth stops him. I don't understand why everyone at this table just sits here and allows this shit to happen. Like, this heathen just starts reading aloud his Christmas wishes in his letter to Santa. Not a single one of these fucks does anything to stop her.
Right. Yeah, just let her go. Pretty typical, man.
And to top it off, the tone switches at some point in this recital to where we're digging up some real shit, and everyone kind of gets smacked in the face by this kid's pure heart.
Right.
You know, like, so that's how we know he's our hero here. The letter starts with, Dear Santa, I know I haven't been great this year, and I'm sorry for that, but I was really hoping you could help out me and my family this Christmas. We need you. Max lunges again, but Beth grabs him and says to chill out. Again, why are you stopping him and not her?
Right.
She goes, blah, 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 bullshit, bullshit. Ah, here we go. Max's wish list. Finally, someone says something. Beth says that's enough. But Stevie goes, well, not so fast, Beth. You're up first. She goes, I wish me and Beth could hang out like we used to. You might have noticed that I don't have a ton of friends. I wish my mom and dad could fall in love again. I think they just really miss each other. Also, I wish things weren't so hard for Uncle Howard and Aunt Linda. And everyone's faces sort of betray the emotional depth we're crossing the threshold of here.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Max's face just keeps getting more panicked and mortified with each fucking second passing. Linda walks in here to hear that last line, and I think had she been in the room, she might have been the one to stop it.
Right.
But she walks in to hear that, so we continue. So maybe you can lend them a hand the rest of the year, too. Stevie stops and slams the letter down on the table and says, screw you, Dad does not wish we were boys. Sarah walks back in holding a huge tray. She goes, who wants creme brulee? Suddenly, Max loses his fucking mind and all hell breaks loose. He jumps up screaming, give me the letter. Eventually runs around and grabs it, biting Jordan in the process.
Yeah, he's a crazy little shit.
Well, they pushed him over the fucking edge, man. This kid's perfectly fine if not provoked. But Tom gets him back up and he says, are you okay? Whoa, honey. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. Time out. Flag on the play. I'm sorry. Let me preface this by saying I support and take no issue with most things, but a dude calling his son honey is fucking weird. Please make it stop.
I don't think I even noticed.
I had an Uncle Wayne that would call me honey sometimes, and I fucking hated it. He smelled like cigars, and I hate those too. But he gave me a banjo once, so he was an alright guy.
What the fuck?
Max says he just wanted Christmas to go back to, to normal, be like it used to be, but forget it. I hate Christmas and I hate all of you. I'm never coming back to school, ever. He runs out of the room. Sarah calls out to him, but Dorothy finally says some real shit. She's like, the kid deserves a prize just for telling the truth. Howie Jr. sitting at the table still, gnawing on his little bird on a stick. That kid's fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
Upstairs, Max is looking over his letter again and crying in his room. Tom knocks on his door and asks if he can come in, and Max says no. He goes, look, they're leaving right after Christmas, which, of course, is not soon enough, but we only have to survive another 3 days.
3 days.
Oh, fuck me. Are you kidding? I love the way that, he realizes what he's saying as he's saying it and kind of deflates.
Right.
Max says, every year it gets worse. Why do we have to put up with their crap just because we share DNA? I'm with you on that one, of course, kid. But if you have some shitty apples that always spoil your bunch, you got to prune them bitches, man. Manifest your own happiness,
Right.
But Tom goes, well, we have to deal with them because that's what family is, Max. People you try to be friends with, even though you don't have a whole lot in common. And Max is like, okay, but why? And Tom still, he has no answers at this point. He goes, maybe it makes us work a little harder to find what we do have in common. But why? Once again, Tom says we have to think of other people for a change, even the assholes you can't stand. And Max goes, like Uncle Howard.
Uncle Howard, yeah.
Yeah. Tom's like, well, I didn't want to name names, but yeah. Max goes, do you really believe in all that? His response is, I want to, Max. So it's a theme of hope throughout this movie, Tom says there's still time to drop that letter in the mailbox, and he leaves. There's a big rip across it. Part of what wasn't read was, I wish Aunt Dorothy would stop pretending she hates hanging with us, and thanks for giving me Omi, the one true Führer. He folds it up and seals the envelope, but then has a change of heart, tears it back out, rips it to shreds, and throws everything outside, where it magically swirls into the night sky, and he can immediately tell there's a smell of something foul on the wind. That was all it took, and now the tone switches in this movie.
Man, he's lucky it got picked up by the wind. Go outside, see my kid was throwing shit out his window in the yard, and kick his ass.
That's it, no
Be
presents.
fucking littering, man.
You fucked up, AA Ron. He closes his window, and we zoom out to see the neighborhood with a huge, nasty black storm cloud forming over it. The score picks up a lot here, too. Very whimsical, holiday, John Williams, Tchaikovsky type shit, you know?
I put, looks like a winter storm. What a Christmas miracle. Fuck off. Again.
But yeah, the wind picks way up, and all the lights on the houses and decorations flicker. Wreaths and Santas are getting blown off porches. Dogs and cats are living together. It's mass hysteria. Finally, the power cuts off to the whole neighborhood, saving the Engel family for last, and then we cut to black. We open the next day on this creepy advent calendar, and there's a terrifying baby hiding behind the door. It's the 23rd, by the way, 2 more days to Christmas. Max wipes a window to see outside and notices the fucking blizzard ensuing on the streets, and it's an absolute whiteout. And there's a new friend in the yard.
Creepy snowman.
This random-ass snowman just kicking it out in the yard, staring at the house, importantly.
Right.
The face on this thing is legitimately haunting. Like, you get a little close-up of it, and it's pretty fucking creepy.
Oh, yeah. It's not smiling.
No, not at all. Max gets distracted by Sarah talking and looks away. They can see dust specks on Mars. You'd think they could see a giant blizzard hurtling toward us, Sarah says.
Yeah, she's got a point. Essentially, she's just stating the fact that, hey, there was nothing on the fucking radar last night. We drove in, everything was fine. You wake up, winter wonderland.
Obviously, something weird's going on.
Right.
Yeah. Tom is flipping breakers, trying to get the power back on. He goes, write an email to the National Weather Service. But until then, let's just stay calm.
Yeah, so no power, no electricity, no running water, 12 people in the house.
Exactly, yeah. She goes, I am calm. I would just be calmer if I knew how we were going to fucking survive.
Right.
Howard walks to the fridge and opens it, and he goes, we don't have any fucking food either. She goes, there's plenty of leftovers, and he goes, beer it is. Max is trying to tell everyone he saw something weird outside. Oh, by the way, the phone is dead. You got a big surprise coming to you. You better go check it out. Go check it out. Max finally gets Sarah's attention, and he says there's a showman in her yard. No, wait, that says snowman. Not an old vaudevillian outside. What the fuck? No, it's a snowman. Equally creepy, though. Sarah looks unimpressed with the snowman, though. She goes, that's great, Max. He's like, yeah, I get it, but who fucking built it? Which is an excellent question.
Yeah, for sure.
Tom says he can barely see across the street, but it doesn't look like they're the only ones without power. He says he could go check with the Turners, but nope, they're in Hawaii. The Lamberts are in Florida, and the Cartwrights stopped talking to us after Max's noodle incident. His fucking what?
You're sick, kid. You're sick.
Sarah tells Max to go get Omi out of the fireplace before she burns the place down. Yeah, right, dude. She's the sharpest one in this house. She's hard at work, dude. Gotta do it yourself when you want to get it done right. Right. Amazingly, someone knocks on the door at this point, and Linda says she'll get it. What the fuck? It's not your house. Sarah just throws her hands up. She's like, fine, go ahead, fuck it. It's a DHL delivery guy. He wants Linda to sign for something, and she yells out to Howard, hey, honey, there's stuff to carry. And her fucking hair and robe and the wreath are all hilariously blowing in the wind.
Right. Crazy storm.
The package he delivered looks like a small basket, like care package of some kind, but Linda notices next to it is a huge red velvety sack with gold trim, very Santa-esque. She says, these two, but the other guy goes, nope, I didn't bring them, must be the boys in brown.
The fucking what?
UPS.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nah, dog. No, turns out it was the boys in red and green. Fucking represent.
The boys in brown, you know.
Howard shows up to grab some shit, and she goes, oh, they got more stuff, as if to say, like, she's rubbing shit in my face, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
He responds with, how come rich people get all the free shit? Which is a good question, actually. She goes, Democrats, probably. They lug it all inside. Howard tosses the sack over his shoulder in a very Santa-like fashion. They walk back in to the girls wrestling around in the living room, and Beth walks up saying she's texted Derek like 9 times and he still hasn't gotten back. Oh no. She wants to walk a few blocks and check on her boyfriend. The answer is absolutely not.
I was going to say, are you fucking insane?
Anything can happen in weather like that. I'm sorry, but no.
Right.
This is movie land, though, so it doesn't take much convincing. Tom says, she'll be fine. Sarah gives her 1 hour. Then when you get back, I want you to spend some girl time with Jordan and Stevie. Yeah, that'll work out great.
Talk about the Steelers.
Beth looks back over at them wrestling around. Howard's cheering him on. He goes, "You call that a reversal?" by God, here comes Howie Jr. with the 2-liter. Beth leaves. I would have changed my mind the second I opened the door to the 80-mile-an-hour winds, but hey.
Yeah.
Sarah turns back to see Omi at the fireplace, and she goes, "Max, I thought I told you to And then it turns out Omi has been the only productive member of this family so far, and turns around, revealing she's made hot cocoa for everyone. And she goes, "Ja, in the trenches during the war, mein platoon leader made us the hot chocolate to raise morale. Nothing like getting a nip back at old Jack Frost, huh?"
What the fuck?
No, she says in German, "Hot chocolate makes everything better." We cut to Beth braving the elements, walking down the middle of the street. See, this is that bullshit right there. This is why they should not have let her out. Like, do you know how long it takes a car to stop and shit like this?
Oh, yeah.
You can't see 15 feet in front of you. By the time you see those headlights, it's all over, you know?
Yeah, man, she's walking and you can't see. There's no visibility.
No, and what you can see, like, everything around her is just a fucking Dr. Seuss world. Like,
right.
It's amazing how much it changed overnight. The icicles on some of these houses look like frozen over waterfalls. It's
right.
fucking very harsh, foreboding, unwelcoming landscape here.
Yeah, and it just turns to dark very, very quickly, too.
Yeah.
You know?
And as it does, she's hearing voices and laughter in the distance and shit. The houses are just getting creepier, like grotesque versions of themselves. And this is a very visually intriguing movie, I think, with the designs on these kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
She starts hearing sleigh bells and then the sounds of chains bring her attention to a figure on the roof. And this is one of the scariest fucking things I could think of to see on a roof. Just this huge hulking figure with enormous horns that extend like far beyond his head. He's cloaked in a robe. What the fuck? She stares at him as he stands even taller, and then she goes, "Oh my God," and he fucking leaps into the sky to land on an even closer roof. And she screams and runs, and there's an awesome sequence of Beth running. We're shooting from the side as she runs left to right, but behind her is Krampus running along these rooftops and jumping from house to house. Like, he lets out this awful fucking howl.
Right.
Like, this is scary as shit. I'm really into the design of this character in keeping with the imagery and mythology of this, you know, like Northern European folklore sort of creature.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It's like a cryptid of some kind. It's a really great design, and I think they execute it well.
Got a pretty cool cape.
Yeah, totally. Capes rule, dude. Chicks dig capes.
Yeah, so Beth is running down the road. We have this chase going on. It's very intense. She runs up on the DHL truck.
Mm-hmm.
Guy's dead, frozen inside.
And the van's blocking the whole fucking road. Yeah,
right.
She runs up and tries to open the door, but it's locked, and the delivery guy inside is literally frozen in fear.
Yeah, dude, his mouth's wide open.
Like, yeah, his face like froze in the middle of a scream.
Right.
So this Krampus ain't nothing to fuck with, apparently. She hears the howl again and takes her cue to crawl under the van, which doesn't sound like a terrible idea until Krampus's cloven hooves land right next to her.
I was wondering, it's like a fucking buffalo or something, dude.
It kind of looks buffalo-esque. It's very hunched back design.
Right.
She's doing a great job in this role, I think. Like, the moment here of her trying to keep it together and not give away her position is really well done. For a moment, it looks like she may get away with it, but the feet walk all the way around the van, ending up back where they started. They turn to face her again, and you think she's had it. But suddenly, the foots fly up and out of sight, so you're like, oh shit, maybe she's okay.
Motherfucker can fly, too.
Right. She looks around for a second thinking maybe she's in the clear, but then, in the spookiest way, we get confirmation that she's, like, Krampus has had her number this whole time.
Right.
A music box starts to play Silent Night, and she looks over, and it's just sitting there next to her. It's like a Jack-in-the-Box kind of like crank thing.
Right.
But this thing is turned directly toward her, and the handle is cranking on its own. And it finally stops, and the toy pops up, or the top of it pops up, but nothing jumps out right away. Instead, the Jack in this box slowly creeps its head out, and just before we get a clear shot of its face, it cuts to Beth screaming, and then we get an overhead shot of the van rocking around like fucking Dennis Nedry is getting eaten by a Dilophosaurus in there.
This van's a rockin', don't come a knockin'.
She continues screaming. There's a horrible shrieking sound that comes from whatever the fuck this creature is. R.I.P. Beth. I thought she would make it farther.
Yeah, that wasn't long.
Back at the house, Max looks out the window again and notices there's another snowman in the yard. No fucking way someone just made this thing out in this blizzard. I'm sorry.
Damn, dude. I think it's Beth.
Actually, based on something we see later, you might not be wrong about it being Beth.
Okay.
In the dining room, candlelight, Tom and Sarah are talking about how weird this shit is. No cars, no people, not even a salt truck. He says, "You didn't get me a backup generator for Christmas, did you?"
Right.
She goes, "Yeah, right, under the tree right next to your ties and underwear." I like them together. I can buy into their relationship. They play well off of each other.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sarah's getting worried about Beth. She said she should have been back by now. Tom says, "Don't worry, she's at Derek's." Sarah says, "Well, that's another reason to worry."
Yep.
He asks for a sit rep on the rest of the family, and she says they're all cranky, bored, tired of each other. Fucking 'tis the season. She leans over and puts her head on his shoulder, and she goes, "God, I miss us." So Max was right about that. They have grown apart.
Right.
A siren sounds in the distance, and that kind of kills the mood. Just then, Max walks back in and says he's worried about Beth too, which kind of raises the sense of urgency for everyone. Omi feeds the fire some more. She's really intent on keeping that blazing, it seems. People are wrapping up in blankets and hunkering down in the living room, all trying to keep warm. Tom asks if Howard thinks his Hummer could get through the snow, and Howard's like, "Oh, you mean Lucinda? I could point her due east, hit the gas, and she'd be storming the beaches of Normandy by sunrise." And suddenly Omi starts having a PTSD flashback, like, "Take some downs, I'm going to breach the bunker, keep the fire hot." Tom and Sarah explain they may need to go look for Beth. Aunt Dorothy says, "See, let him out of your sight for 1 second, and boom, shotgun wedding." Thanks, Dot. That's very helpful. Anyway, Howard says he's down for a recon mission and passes Chrissy back off to Linda. Omi doesn't seem to like their plan. She's yelling in German at him while Max translates to the rest of the family. She's like, "Nein, so haben Sie nicht gehen. Krampus will shoving dein Horn right up in den Schwinkte." What the fuck? Max tells everyone, she says, "Don't go, it's too dangerous. We should wait for the storm to pass."
That's
Tom,
not what you said.
That's exactly what I said. No, I think what I said actually translates more to, "No, don't go. Krampus is going to shove his horn up your ass."
Yeah.
Tom reassures Omi, saying, "Hey, we have to pick up Beth, but Max and Sarah will be here to take care of you while we're gone." She ain't the one that needs taken care of, dude. All you motherfuckers is. He leaves and we get a sweet little shot of her hand shaking, but Max grabs it to steady her, kind of a thing. Out on the road, they drive along real slow, can't see shit out the windshield.
Mm-hmm.
Howard says, "Global warming my ass, must be -20 out here." Yeah, dipshit, that's how it works. It doesn't mean everything gets warmer. The polar ice caps are melting, releasing more moisture into the atmosphere, and shit just keeps getting more intense. That's how you end up with blizzards like this. Besides, this being a magic blizzard caused by a kid's broken wishes, of course.
Yeah, fancy. Fancy.
Tom is scrolling through radio stations but not picking shit up. I think Howard says, "What I wouldn't give for a little Bing Crosby right about now."
Fucking white people shit, huh?
Tom tells Howard to slow down as they approach something in the road. They run over a wreath on their way to it. Apparently, it's an abandoned snowplow. The lights on Howard's Hummer are ridiculous. Looks like something out of Close Encounters with the Third Kind with him pulling up on this fucking thing. They get out to scope the situation and find nothing except some presents on the front seat and the keys in the ignition. The whole thing is completely frosted over on the inside, though, mostly due to the enormous hole in the windshield. And Howard says, "Damn, the driver must have sailed clear through it." But Adam points out, "No, dude, the glass was punched in."
Yeah, what the fuck?
So Howard opens a drawer in the back of the Hummer, revealing a bunch of guns. He gives one to Tom, who's damn near speechless. And Tom's like, "Oh, this fucking thing's kind of heavy." Howard's like, "Yeah, it's Linda's." Back at the house, speaking of Linda, she notices that Sarah has had their mom's angel this whole time on top of the tree. Apparently, they used to fight over who got to place her. The angel comes back in a crazy way in a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. We hear some footsteps on the roof here.
Mm-hmm.
Probably squirrels, huh? No, not fucking squirrels.
Right. Yeah, Dorothy's like, "Squirrels, really? In this weather? Why the fuck would they not be in their tree?" Whatever. Everything gets louder and more reckless, culminating in a huge bang that shakes the house and scares the shit out of everyone. Baby Chrissy starts crying, and Sarah goes, "See? Squirrels. Definitely squirrels." And yeah, Aunt Dorothy goes, "Right, probably playing with their nuts."
You can tell Omi knows something's going on here.
Yeah, dude, she takes a look up the chimney like, "Oh, I wish you would. I dare you to come down this chimney, you rotten, woolly, horny bitch."
Yeah, nobody seems too worried, like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah. The boys finally arrive at Derek's house and find the door hanging open, snow all through the place. Everything's been tossed like the fucking wet bandits have already been through here. Howard says he has a bad feeling about this. Dude, there's a gingerbread man pinned to the fridge with a butcher knife. Something definitely went down here.
Fucking good. Little gingerbread fuckers. About to see why later.
Tom finds a picture of Beth and Derek on the floor. Howard notices the wall above the fireplace is torn up, and he goes, oh, looks like a gas line blew. They also spot some tracks in the snow of some really big hoof prints.
Hooves.
Like, what kind of goat walks on its hind legs?
Right.
And just then they hear screaming, and it sounds like Beth, so they run off to see what it is, following her voice, trudging through the snow. Suddenly, something latches onto Howard's leg and thrashes him around like a fucking rag doll.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, dude. It tries to drag him off and almost succeeds in pulling him into a snowbank, but Tom reaches him just in time and pulls him back out. Howard says something's biting him. It looks like there's there's a cool rattlesnake sound effect in here for some reason. That was kind of fun.
Yes, this is just a crazy ass scene. Tom grabs the gun, looks at Howard. Howard questions him, Tommy, and then we cut back to the living room with Sarah looking towards the window, hearing the two shots that Tom are firing off, which I thought this was great editing.
Right.
You know, it really was.
And it seems like they didn't get far at all. So, like, they said it was only a couple blocks away.
Right.
It sounds like from the distance of the gunshots that they hear, that sounds pretty accurate.
Right.
Although, I don't know, that sound might get swallowed up by the storm.
That's true. I didn't think about that.
But yeah, something tunnels its way away from Tom and Howard, scared off by the gunfire. It's very Looney Tunes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's what I said, man. Like Bugs Bunny.
Tom says, I don't know what that thing was, but we gotta move. They get back to Lucinda to find it fucking destroyed, all smashed in and on fire.
Yeah. He's upset too, man.
Yeah, he screams, Lucinda! It's great how the sound of his scream, just like I just said, does get swallowed up by the wind as we zoom out of that shot. Back at the house, Sarah puts a coat on. She says she's going out to find him. Linda says, no, don't go. They know what they're doing. Before she gets a chance to leave, they bust back in through the door instead, screaming for Max to get the first aid kit. They tell everybody, lock the door, keep away from the windows. Howard starts saying, get whatever kind of weapon you can, but Tom's like, no, hey, fucking chill, dude.
Yeah, hey, relax. You're going to scare the fuck out of everybody,
Right.
You know? It's so fucking funny, though.
Yeah. Sarah sees that it looks like something bit Howard, and he goes, it's nothing, probably a bear trap in the snow. But Max goes, nah, dog, no bears here. By the way, who puts a bear trap on a residential fucking street?
Yeah. We don't have bears around here, bud.
Linda tries to wrangle all the kids into the kitchen. Max knows it's just to distract them, though. Sarah says, Dorothy, take care of the kids. She goes, why me? I never liked kids, even when I was one. But she goes, oh, all right, come on, guys. I'm going to teach you how to make peppermint schnapps.
Yeah, Aunt Dorothy's giving the kids booze.
Yeah. We cut back to Howard's leg, and it is all fucked up. Tom asks Omi to go help with the kids, and she tells him to keep the fire hot. We cut to Dorothy finishing making her drink. Howie Jr. is just fucking open mouth staring at her. She passes the cup around. She's like, don't rat me out. Max is kind of listening in on Howard talking about crazy conspiracy theories and like how gangs and terrorists are behind this somehow. And then he notices Omi in the kitchen. Tom finishes bandaging Howard's leg, and Sarah asks again about Beth. Tom says she wasn't at Derek's, but she may have found somewhere safe. Toni Collette's reaction here is so genuine. I love seeing her in anything and everything, dude. She's so good.
She's good.
She says, I don't care how long it takes. We have to keep looking. She suggests pairing up and taking turns. And Howard says they can't go back out there. He's got frostbite, and it was under 4 minutes he was out in it.
Yeah. So the storm's fucked. And they're kind of stuck here, you know?
Yeah. And he goes, besides the temperature, someone's going through your fancy-ass neighborhood picking everybody off. Linda has the idea that they can all just leave, just pile in the truck, and oh, right, no more truck.
That's right. Lucinda's gone.
R.I.P. Lucinda. Howard drops that news here, but says even if they still had the truck, the streets are still fucked. Tom asks how much ammo they have. He goes, a couple shells loaded, maybe a dozen more in my pocket. He says the best option is to stay put. We board up the doors and windows, and when the weather breaks, they'll look again. Once again, back to Night of the Living Dead almost. We're bunkering down, boarding up the windows and shit.
Right.
There's a funny exchange about Christmas on a pig farm. Somebody says something about Jesus was born in a barn. Why not, you know?
This was Howard talking about we should have went to my brother-in-law's.
Yeah,
and
his
she said,
pig farm.
Oh, it was on a pig farm.
Yeah, I'm not fucking spending Christmas there.
Right. Jesus was born in a barn.
Yeah. So they try to decide what to tell the kids, but right on cue, the kids show up, and it's too late. They already heard everything. Linda tries to soothe them. She goes, nothing bad is going to happen on Christmas. She goes, They'll have a camp out and watch a movie. Man, this scary-ass Bible verse this elf is reciting, "And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of the Lord shone round about them, and they were so afraid. And the angel said unto them, Fear not, for behold, I bring you tidings of great joy, and I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brother. And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance down upon thee." And then he shoots them all. Sarah notices that they're watching a movie on a laptop and asks if the battery's going to die. Linda says, yeah, but fuck it, might as well enjoy it while we can. She reassures Sarah that Beth is probably fine. Tom finishes boarding up the windows, and Howard thanks him for saving him earlier, finally getting some genuine humanity out of this fucking character.
Right.
He goes, "And I just want to say that I'm sorry for thinking you're a spineless dick all these years." He's fucking like Mr. Cooper speaking in Night of the Living Dead, dude. Like,
right.
When he has his fucking attack of conscience or whatever.
Right.
Max walks up and Tom's like, "Hey, you should get some sleep," and he gives him the old Ellen Burstyn line from The Exorcist and just goes, "How? How the fuck you want me to sleep? It's cold as shit. It's scary as shit."
Mm-hmm.
They peek outside to see the snowmen lurking menacingly. Max asks straight up if they're gonna die. He says, Omi's been acting different lately. Tom's like, "Well, she always gets a little weird around Christmas. Wonder why that is."
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Before that gets any further, Sarah tells Max it's time for bed. Howard says he'll stay up and keep watch while the rest of them get some sleep, and we cut to a completely dark room, and Howard is snoring like a fucking buzzsaw. God damn it, Howard, you had one job. Well,
Yeah.
Okay, keep the fire going too. You had two jobs.
Yeah, fucking Howard. I knew it right away. Don't fucking trust this dickhead.
Yeah, man. Everybody's passed out while the laptop plays the last few bars of Silent Night. We pan across them all snoozing. That felt a little poltergeisty to me, like the sign-off at the end of the night on the TV.
Right.
They're all sleeping. We finally rest on a shot of the last remaining embers of the fire going out. And we see the battery on the laptop is at 1%. That cuts out before the last line of that song can be delivered. That's a great choice. Complete silence now, except for the wind outside. We start to hear more footsteps upstairs, and there's chattering of some sort. It settles over the fireplace, it seems. It's freezing. You can see Max's breath as he pulls his blankets in closer. We see a hook at the end of a chain lower into the visible space of the fireplace. Holy shit, what's about to happen here?
Yeah, what the hell?
Oh, holy crap. Another gingerbread man is tied in the portion of the chain along with a bunch of sleigh bells, and the chain shakes around trying to get the family's attention, like to make sure they're still sound asleep. And there's a funny little cartoonish yoo-hoo from the fucking gingerbread man.
Yeah, dude, Krampus is fucking fishing.
Mm-hmm.
He's fishing for kids.
And he fucking catches him a big one too, because Howie Jr. wakes up and sees a cookie on this fucking hook. So of course he's got to go eat it. He pulls the chain right into the house and takes a big bite out of the gingerbread man's head. The thing starts screaming and starts trying to attack him and shit. It wraps him up in the chain and whistles for whoever's up top to reel it in. And that's about the time Howard wakes up. He tries to get to Howie before he's pulled up the chimney, but falls immediately because of his injured leg. Sarah grabs him and goes to pull him back in, but she almost gets pulled up too. Tom and Howard both grab one of her legs, and that chain is still having no trouble pulling all of them.
Oh, yeah.
They finally pull Sarah back down, but she manages to kick a log out of the fire that rolls over toward the presents. Almost immediately, the tree's on fire.
Right.
Max runs to get the fire extinguisher while Sarah finally gets a glimpse of what they're dealing with and just about loses her fucking mind to see that they're fighting tiny cookie men.
Yeah, what the fuck, man?
She screams and it mimics her scream back at her. It's fucking hysterical, dude. They finally pull everyone back inside except Howie Jr. He gets sucked up the chimney, thank God. Now I don't have to look at his stupid fucking face anymore. Max puts out the fire just as Howard is smacked with one of Howie's shoes that falls back down the chimney.
Yeah, damn.
Sarah looks like she's barely hanging in there, and Linda's already cracking. Howard is blaming himself because he fell asleep when he was supposed to be on watch. Omi tries to get the fire going again, and she says it's everyone's fault. He's come for us all. Finally, Omi speaks English. She goes, please listen.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
It started with the wind on a cold winter night, almost like this.
Yeah.
Take it away, Dusty.
She goes, I must tell you something to all of you. It started with the wind. We get an amazing transition back to an animated flashback. It's very Tim Burton nightmare winter hellscape going on. And Omi starts with, your classic, on a cold winter's night, much like this. She goes, it was almost Christmas, but this Christmas was darker, less cheerful. We see the town, and it's like the quintessential Eastern European Holocaust town. Nothing fancy, you know. A little girl is in a bread line, and Omi said she still believed in Santa and magic and miracles and all that shit. And the townspeople fucking attack this little girl for her bread. Times is tough by the looks of things. She picks up her little Santa doll and dusts it off. Back at home, she tries to bring some cheer to her parents, but they're total dicks and rip her doll in half and throw it on the floor.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Omi says that because her parents gave up, she did too. The mom tosses her doll in the fire. She wished for her parents to go away. Damn, dude, you're going to regret that real quick. But that night, her wish came true. It wasn't St. Nicholas that came that year. It was something darker and more ancient. The shadow of St. Nicholas. Dun, dun, dun. Krampus.
Yeah. K, roll the R. Krampus. Krampus.
She says he comes not to reward but to punish. They drag her family off, and Krampus's shadow winks at her in this animation. Like, hey, I took care of that problem for yous. She says he left her as a reminder of what happens when hope is lost, belief is forgotten, and the Christmas spirit dies. The animation wraps up with an ornament rolling out of the chimney to little Omi's feet. We cut back to the real world, and she's holding it in her old-ass hands. She starts sobbing, and Howard interrupts the silence, and he's like, well, here, I thought I was the one losing it. Evil Santa, Jesus H. Almighty. He's convinced Omi is fucking sundowning in front of them.
Yeah, you think?
But no way, dude. Once again, she's the only one in this house that really knows what's up. Like, unfortunately, that's the world we're living in. You got to fucking come to terms with Krampus real quick. Tom pipes in, and he's like, the kid in Little Giants, he's like, don't you be talking about my mama. He says, that's enough. And Howard's like, damn, Skippy, whoever's out there doing this took our kids. We don't have time for bedtime stories.
Yeah, no, I'm with him. Like, what the hell is this lady talking about?
But she's also right. They are
That's
actually dealing with a magical fucking goat guy. Like,
there is a little bit of magic sprinkled in here.
yeah,
So
a little bit. He hobbles off saying, I'm going to go get my boy back, and Tom tries to stop him from leaving. Howard literally pulls the fucking gun on Tom.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, dude. Speaking of Mr. Cooper, once again, I fully support offing this character at this point.
He's like, yeah, I like you, but...
He had a few moments where it looked like maybe he was coming around, but damn, dude, you're going to hold a gun on your brother-in-law?
I'm going to find my boy.
Yeah, he goes... He's like, Tommy, I'm starting to like you. I am, but this is my choice. All right, so first of all, I was almost thinking the same thing, but now you go and fuck it all up. Tom tries to reason with him, saying, we got 4 other kids here to protect, but he pulls the bar off the door anyway. Linda says we can figure something out, and he's like, this is how I figure things out. He opens up the door, and we see now there's a whole gang of snowmen hanging out guarding the house. He yells for his kid, but nobody can hear shit in this wind. I don't know who you think is going to hear you besides the fucking snowmen.
Right.
He then looks at one of the smaller snowmen right up by the porch and maybe kind of recognizes some of his kid's facial features in the snowman's face.
Oh, shit.
What? Krampus making little snow kids? Is Beth out there too, to your point earlier?
Right.
We hear a little evil imp laughter in the background here, and Toni Collette runs up and pushes Howard back inside, shuts the door, but not before we see a couple little Christmas trolls running around, hopping between snowmen.
Elves.
Yeah. Tom says they all they can do at this point is just keep the fire hot, like Omi has been saying this whole time. Ja, natürlich. This is why us Germans have so much practice with the ovens. We have to be ready for anything right out of the womb. We cut back to see Omi just kicking it right next to the fireplace, like she's about to drop the fucking hottest Christmas album of the century. She's just sitting there like, yep, told you bitches. We open up the next day on our advent calendar, December 24th, it's Christmas Eve. There's a cute little bear inside this one, no creepy babies, thank God. We get a quick shot of the conditions outside again, and it's absolutely a fucking nightmare. I'm just imagining a storm at sea, but replace all the water with snow, and that's basically what we got going on here.
Oh, yeah.
Inside, Linda's trying to salvage whatever she can of the gifts under the tree, and Jordan asks, but what if you've been good, like, all year? Well, first of all, Jordan, you fucking haven't, so no to whatever you were about to say.
Yeah, she's a little shit.
She's like, what if we leave out milk and cookies and do everything else right? That's got to count for something, right? Omi is back to speaking exclusively German. She goes, yeah, in the old country, we have a saying, Buch dich and open up your asshole for old Krampus, baby, because you're fucked. No, she actually says it's not what you do, it's what you believe, and what you've given up in your heart. So wait, should I believe in Santa to avoid this, or what? It sounds like she's saying it's indeed pointless. And right on cue, Dorothy does her best to translate, and she says we're fucked. And Omi shrugs, and she's like, yeah, you've hit the nail right on the head. The kids are like, wait, how did you translate that? She goes, I'm old enough to know when life is coming at you with his pants down.
Yep, truth.
Cut to Tom. He's in the kitchen doing some Home Alone shit. And he pulls out some maps of the town, like Kevin's blueprints of the brownstone in part 2.
Right, yeah.
He's circling different locations on the map. He's on one. He asks Sarah what she saw up the chimney and then when Howie was taken, and she answers his question with a question and asks if he believes his mom's story. She's like, all I know is I have to get Beth back. She doesn't care if she dies trying. This is the part in the movie where it's like, everybody's bunkered down, but here comes Kurt Russell with the blood test. Like, we got to figure out who's a Krampus and who's not. Tom tells Sarah, let's get Howard and Linda. I have an idea. Speaking of Linda, we cut to her. She's still going through the presents. She sees one that doesn't look familiar to her, and she picks it up and shakes it around a little, and it seems to be making noises on its own. She decides to open it, but Sarah comes in just in the nick of time to stop her. She says, hey, can we talk? She's like, nah, I'm busy rewrapping these for the kids. She's like, fuck that, this is important. Turns out Tom's idea is to get back to the snowplow that they saw on the road. He saw the keys in it. Maybe he can drive it back to the house, and everybody else can pile into the car and follow behind him while he carves out a path for them to drive through. Dude, I don't know. That thing looked pretty fucked. It's missing a windshield.
Right.
It's like negative 100 out. But I guess if that's what you want to do, whatever.
It's not a bad idea.
Linda goes, okay, but to go where? Sarah's like, I don't know, a fucking mall? Yeah, because that never ended badly. Sarah says, if that's empty, we'll try the police station. If they're gone too, we'll keep on driving until we find something or run out of gas, whichever comes first. Howard says to Tom, you're not thinking of going to the snowplow by yourself, are you? And Tom throws his line from earlier back at him. He goes, a shepherd's got to protect his flock.
Yep.
No problemo. We cut back to the living room where the present Linda was messing with starts to rattle around, and we hear laughter coming from inside it, and it's like about to bust loose.
Fuck off.
Stuff is going crazy in the room, and the dresser starts to animate before we cut away to another calm shot of Max looking out the window doing a little recon. More scary snow dudes all over the place in the yard, but then suddenly he sees the silhouette of the big guy himself. Krampus is staring at him and puffs out a huge plume of steamy breath.
Mm-hmm.
Max looks away for a second, and when he looks back, Krampus is gone. Stevie escorts Jordan to the bathroom because apparently she's too scared to go herself. She goes, it's not my fault Aunt Dorothy clogged up the crapper.
Gross, dude.
Yeah, ew. They walk down the hall speculating about what happened to Howie and why until they hear their names being called from one of the rooms. They, for some reason, think it's Beth, where she's calling out, where have you been, guys? Stevie, Jordan, come up here. I'm sorry, anytime a sentence ends with, and I'll show you, no thank you. Big no thanks.
No trust.
She goes, I've been waiting for you guys, hurry. And then they disappear up the steps into the attic. We cut back to Linda and Sarah, and she's like, have you told Max yet? And she's like, fucking wait, tell him what? Just then, a huge bang and a scream from upstairs. They all go running to see what's going on, grabbing weapons as they go and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Aunt Dorothy says, well, gee, they were just here. I think they went to the bathroom. And Linda goes, you just let them go? Dorothy goes, yeah, was there another option? I'm with her on this one. Don't tell the kids not to go to the bathroom. Linda goes to run upstairs and save the girls, but Howard stops her, sensing something's off. Tom takes point and walks slowly up the stairs holding Linda's gun. Max turns to Omi and says, this is all my fault. Yeah, it is, you little bandwagon believer.
Look what you did, you little jerk.
Howard hears some commotion from the kitchen and he calls over to the dog, but Rosie's like, yeah, fuck that, I heard it too, no thank you, and walks the other way. Howard goes to scope it out while Tom, Sarah, and Linda go to the attic to do the same. They're calling out to the girls and not getting any response. And finally, they come upon all the presents that seem to have unwrapped themselves.
Yeah, fuck. They're shredded.
Yeah, more glass shatters in the kitchen, and Howard tiptoes his way in. We see a vent up by the ceiling hanging open, so we're dealing with something small here, but that's always scary too, dude. It's in the numbers.
Yeah, oh yeah.
If there's something small, you're always dealing with 1,000 of them. You know?
Right.
He walks past a gingerbread house, and we see a little figure inside pop up and laugh at him. He turns around, it's gone. Back upstairs, the gang finally stumbles upon a huge jack-in-the-box moving around ground on its own with a big fabric tube coming out from inside it. Like, in the tube, you can vaguely see the outline of human body shape. And we pan all the way to the front, like the front end of this thing, and this jack, or whatever you call it, that was heretofore in the box, is now out and shoving the legs of one of the girls down its horrifying and grotesque mouth.
Yeah, dude, it's like the clown from It.
Yeah, dude. This is it, folks. This is what nightmares are made of. I forgot to mention all the horrendous growling and gurgling sounds that are happening in the meantime.
Yeah, kind of cool.
I half expect Rob Bottin to be in the credits here, and fucking a head spider goes walking by. Tom gives an "oh come on," like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I love the way this creature's jaw is split down the middle, just adding to the nightmarish quality of it.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Kind of stupid too. It's all right, you know.
We get some stellar Toni Collette screaming here. I always love that. She's yelling, "For the love of God, shoot it!" This is 3 years prior to Hereditary, by the way, so got a bit before she achieves her final form. Tom fires and the thing drags itself off. Downstairs, Howard reacts to the sounds of screams and gunfire, but he's immediately stopped in his tracks by these little gingerbread fuckers that fire up a line of nails up his leg with a nail gun from across the room.
Yeah, damn, dude.
I don't know how they have the fucking nail gun or how to operate it, but again, guys, this is not how nail guns work, but we'll let it slide here, I guess, because movies. Gingerbread dudes are having a great time, though, just laughing their little ginger asses off. Howard looks over and sees these little lunatics going all dirty Harry on him, and he runs off. He grabs a cutting board to defend himself, and these nails penetrate deep into that fucking board, like coming out the other side.
Oh, yeah, he would have been dead.
Yeah.
You know?
Upstairs in the attic, Mom's Christmas angel has now animated itself and looks fucking horrifying, almost to biblical angel proportions.
Yeah, kind of like an owl, too.
Yeah, a little bit. It flies down from the rafters and attacks Sarah. While they're dealing with that, a fucking teddy bear comes out of nowhere and attacks. In the kitchen, Howard tries to shoot the gingerbread man but misses and shoots a lantern, which hilariously explodes. And because of the tiny proportions of the gingerbread man, it looks like a huge explosion in a war flick or something.
Right.
It's great. I love it. They fall to the ground freaking out because, you know, they're on fire. Linda tries to fend off the bear upstairs. She just starts straight punching it in the face. The angel on top of Sarah shoots out a nasty licorice-looking tongue out of its mouth and then does something. I'm not sure what's happening here exactly, but it's like licking her with it, I guess. I don't know. Suddenly, a toy robot that has now been turned into an evil little transformer pops up and attacks, latches onto Tom's back, and just starts going to stab town, tearing into him. Howard sees the gingerbread men burning and tries to throw a cool line here. He goes, "Merry Christmas, mother..." But before he can get it out, the sound of his voice draws the attention of the gingerbread men again, and they whirl around, and the one gingerbread man's like, "There he is, charge!" They fucking run dead at him, and he shoots a couple, but the third, like, ninjas its way into a dodge and leaps at him, and he just, like, winces, waiting to take the hit.
Right.
But before that can happen, we just hear a chomp noise, and we see that good old Rosie is eating the cookie dude mid-air, saving Howard from whatever was about to happen.
Oh, good dog.
Gives a little nervous chuckle. Upstairs, the angel has now grabbed a strand of lights and wrapped it around Sarah's throat and pulls her up, literally hanging her from the rafters.
Yeah, sick, dude.
The Jack-in-the-Box this whole time has been trying to bust through a vent and crawl away, but Linda looks over and sees Stevie laying on the floor motionless and finally finds the fucking inner strength to grab an icicle off the railing, shove it through this teddy bear's eye, and a bunch of nasty green liquid comes out.
Yeah, hell yeah.
She tosses it over the balcony, and we get a fucking Wilhelm scream out of the bear. That was funny. But yeah, Linda says, "Fuck all this." She grabs an axe, cuts Sarah down, and then whacks the robot off of Tom. She's all done playing now. I told you Linda was the one to watch out for.
Yeah, hell yeah. She's turning into a more likable character after being the raging bitch earlier.
Linda?
Yeah,
Linda was
dude.
never a raging bitch. Are
Dude,
you kidding me?
The food shot? Yeah, she's talking shit about her food.
Linda wasn't talking shit. That was Dorothy.
Sarah was talking shit about Linda's house being all clean and her making too good of food.
Linda is the sister. Sarah is Max's mom.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Aunt Dorothy. But wait, what? What are you saying?
So when Linda said something earlier about, well, she prefers her house to be clean and that's why she makes such fancy food you can't pronounce, she was being a fucking asshole.
I mean, I was just kind of taking a stab at Sarah. I mean, it's her sister sibling rivalry, but like otherwise, that was like kind of the only shitty thing she said, really. Otherwise, she was cool, I thought.
Totally shitty though.
Yeah, that was shitty. Families
It's like
are
calling
shitty.
the ham dry.
Right. But she also had a moment before where she went all Rambo, where she rips her headband out of her hair, like, let me roll up the sleeves please, and get down to business. Mm-hmm. She stalks through the attic like fucking Jack Torrance holding her axe, going through the fucking hedge maze. Finally, she finds the Jack-in-the-Box. She yells, "Hey, give me back my kids, you fudger."
Yeah, fudger.
Fucking PG-13. She runs up and swings the axe, but not quick enough. Unfortunately, it slips away just in time. She runs over to Stevie and revives her. Sarah pulls the blade out of Tom's back. Now, this is the part where the killer robot comes back to life for one last scare. Sarah grabs the gun and unloads 3 rounds into it, down for the count. Tom looks over at her like, Jesus, take it easy. And she looks back at him and says, what? Like, fucking what else am I supposed to do?
Right.
They all come back to the living room to get their bearings and have a little powwow. Tom says they got Jordan, and Aunt Dorothy's like, who? Like, bruh, fucking who indeed? The Christmas spirit, apparently. Linda says she can hear Jordan screaming. Sarah says she thinks the Jack-in-the-Box is panicking, trying to find a way out of the house. Tom's like, good luck, fucker, boarded everything up.
Right. Yeah, shit.
Linda says they got to get up there and help Jordan, and Howard asks what they're dealing with, and she was like, he goes like, what did you see up there? She goes, you don't want to know, sweetheart. But he comes back with, honey, I just got my ass kicked by a bunch of Christmas cookies. So trust me when I say I can take it. Sarah shushes everybody. Suddenly the dog seems to think she's got some activity in one of the vents, and Max runs over to try to open it. Dude, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you opening it?
He just lets the dog in the vent.
I understood after the dog finally took off, but I was like, why are you opening it to let the fucking thing into where you guys are? So yeah, he sticks the dog on whatever's in there. We hear a bit of struggle between the dog and the Jack-in-the-Box, I assume, and suddenly the fucking ceiling starts cracking. It seems like the whole house is about to snap in half. After a beat of silence, the ceiling caves in, and the Jack-in-the-Box falls to the floor. Linda yells at Howard to shoot it, but before he can, the angel comes back to attack him. Turns out the gang's all here again. We see the evil little teddy bear pop back up as well. And then Aunt Dorothy gets her moment. She picks up the shotgun and puts one into the teddy bear's head.
Yeah, hell yeah. About time she fucking did something.
Blasts it back against the wall with some pretty good gore.
Shit, yeah.
Tom and Sarah and Linda finally peel the angel off of Howard and toss it into the air. And Dorothy gets a little skeet shooting practice as she shoots the angel and nails it into the wall perfectly into the center of a wreath.
Hell yeah.
The Jack-in-the-Box rears its ugly head, and Tom says, Aunt Dorothy, finish it. She goes, with pleasure, and is just about to blast this thing's face off when suddenly we hear a bunch of drums and sleigh bells ringing, and now something else is descending on the house. The Jack-in-the-Box is happy about it, whatever it is. He starts clapping. Omi just looks up and says, elves.
Fucking elves.
Fucking here we go, dude. Out of nowhere, a bunch of these ugly little bastards bust in through the window. They put the fire out and drag a bunch of chains in. They herd the family up against a wall, except poor little baby Chrissy hanging out on the floor by herself. That's sad. That always gets you a little bit, you know?
Right. Yeah, it's crazy. They come in with all these chains, and it's the same setup as Krampus, you know, coming through the chimney. They just start chaining everybody up.
Yeah, they wrap up Aunt Dorothy, probably taking the biggest threat out after she took a couple of them out.
Right. Aunt Dorothy, Howard, the baby gets picked up. I think they even chain the Jack-in-the-Box, you know.
Do they?
Yeah.
Just to haul it back home?
I think so, yeah.
you need a tow.
Right.
Yeah, Linda notices Chrissy's missing. She looks up just in time to see an elf holding her and jumping out the window. Fuck, they took my baby. Aunt Dorothy is sitting on the floor wrapped up in chains, and she just goes, see ya in hell, and gets zipped out the window with a cartoony whistle sound. Oh my god. Howard yells out, twisted fairy tale horse shit, jumps onto the Jack-in-the-Box and rides it out the window. And Tom just goes, oh, fucking great. Like, such a good delivery in the middle of all this, because he's just like reacting to everything happening around him, and he's just like, great.
Right. So we've got Tom, Sarah, Omi, Max, Stevie, and Linda left.
Right, yeah, the elves surround the remaining family members, and then everything gets kind of quiet. They look around a little, and then they start fleeing, meaning the elves. The last elf out the window turns around and points before jumping out, and now nothing happens. The family checks on each other a bit. Tom goes to grab the gun. They decide they need to make a break for the snowplow. Sarah tries to comfort Linda as Omi is desperately trying to get the fire going again. She tries to light a match 3 or 4 times before Tom runs over and he says, Ma, the meatloaf, Ma, we have to go now. And just then, there's a huge bang on the house. I think the big guy just got here. Max knows and he goes, it's him. A little more Christmas magic here. The radio turns on as if to confirm and starts playing Nine Little Reindeer, which is the up on the housetop reindeer paws.
Mm-hmm.
Out jumps good old Krampus Claus. The lights flicker. The family says, fuck that. I don't know what's coming, but it's time to get the hell out of here. They bundle up and walk to the door. Tom says, everybody hold on to each other. They walk out the door, but Omi, bringing up the rear, stops at the threshold and gives Max an E.T. fucking be good right here. He yells out for her, but she slams and locks the door. Tom bangs on it trying to get her to open back up, but now we're just wasting time. Tom tries to go to the window, but Max stops him. He goes, she wants to face him. Huge, horrifying Krampus shriek right there. He gives one last look back as the family minus Omi embarks trudging through the snow. Back inside, Omi walks back through the house, that creepy song still playing. She turns to face the chimney, and the whole wall starts to crack in front of her. This is a really cool shot, panning down the wall as the entire fireplace area grows and bulges out to, like, accept the form of the chubby old Krampus goat man.
Right.
Omi just stands there like, yeah, bitch, it's already been brought in. You don't want this fucking smoke. Just ask civilians of... Oh, okay, that's enough of that. The reveal of Krampus here is pretty dope, too. It starts with seeing his nasty long fingers and claws on the end.
Yeah.
He ducks his head under the mantle because his horns have to clear it first.
Right.
And he finally stands to his full height in front of Omi. His getup is pretty cool, too, like a fur-lined robe where the hood hangs way down over his face like a Jedi.
Right. Like a Jedi.
He steps out and his big hoof smashes an ornament, but not just any ornament. It's a Santa one, importantly. Fuck Santa, Krampus is here. You can kind of see his schnoz and a bit of beard here, but it's mostly obscured still. He reaches out and boops Omi on the nose, and then his weird, nasty-ass, long-ass tongue creeps out of his gross-ass face and starts licking her up and down. Like, what the fuck, bro? This is PG-13. Calm down.
Yeah, he gets a little face rub with his finger.
Ugh.
I think he's hot for her.
The side profile of Krampus is crazy, too. Such a huge, hulking, hunched-over henchman, you know? Mm-hmm. He reaches into his bag to show her what's in it, and she doesn't seem to like what she sees. We get a peek, and it's just a bunch of toys that are here to kill her. Nothing crazy.
More fucking teddies. More gingerbread men.
Right.
God damn it.
Back outside, the family is still searching for the snowplow, having a hell of a time getting through the snow. I can't believe Tom doesn't have any kind of head cover on. That's crazy.
Right.
But Tom sees the light on the plow spinning in the distance. There's a screeching behind them that scares the shit out of him. And Tom trains his gun on a mound of snow moving at them.
Yeah, the same shit that got Howard earlier.
Right, yeah, he shoots. We hear a reaction, but we don't really know what that might have done, if anything. Same old story for Tom. He tells the rest of the family to go without him while he holds off whatever the snow monster is. Nobody wants to. Of course, it's the classic trope, you know, save yourselves, get out of here. He's sacrificing himself, whatever. Finally, Sarah says, okay, I'll take care of everyone. They run toward the truck. Tom fires like 10 rounds into this thing. Goddamn, how much ammo does this thing hold?
That's what I thought right away. Like,
my shotgun holds 5 in the tube. I can get 6 if I chamber one, but that's it. He's fucking firing his ass off here. But yeah, fucking self-sacrifice. When he finally does run out of ammo, he just stands there and accepts his fate.
Right.
And then fucking mystery mound comes up and Tom gets slammed into the ground. And I do mean into the ground. This is surprisingly a really emotional scene with these characters that we've grown attached to over the runtime. Like, the family gets to the truck, starts to pile in, but then something latches on to Linda, and now Stevie freaks out. Like, people are dropping like fucking flies.
Right.
Linda just says, go with your Aunt Sarah, but like, fuck, man. Like, now it's just Sarah, Max, and Stevie. That's crazy.
And then Sarah right away too, man. Sarah goes.
Yeah, well, she tosses out a fucking I'll be right back, telling us that she's about to die.
Right.
Yeah, Linda gets sucked into a snow mound and Sarah fucking closes the door and just says, I love you. Then she gets sucked into the snow.
Right.
So I'm wondering if it's like a self-sacrifice thing, thinking the Christmas monster just wanted the shitty parents and the kids will be okay once they're gone, or what. But as it stands, our only survivors at this point are Max and Stevie.
Mm-hmm. They're in the truck now. Truck won't start.
Right.
Elves. Elves are here, you know?
There's a nice, when we transition to this, there's a nice like orchestral version of Silent Night as the score in this moment. I don't know if you noticed. as Max looks at the hole his mom once stood in. And yeah, Stevie brings him back to the real world and tells him, Max, we gotta go. I'm sorry, but who the fuck is driving? Neither of you are gonna operate this fucking snowplow.
They'll figure it out.
Max turns the key, but it doesn't really turn over. He goes, I don't know how to drive a stick. We have a hybrid. Well, bitch, you don't know how to drive that either. You're 9. While they fuck with the vehicle trying to get it going, to no avail, a couple shitty little elves show up and start terrorizing them. Eventually, Stevie gets pulled out and sucked into the snow too. Max manages to beat the last elf off, and he gets... Oh, goddamn it, I did it again, didn't I? And he gets out of the truck, still hearing Stevie's screams, but then Krampus lands directly in front of Max and drops something on the ground. Max picks it up, and it's that same Krampus ornament, along with the ripped up pieces of his letter that started this whole damn thing.
Oh, shit.
He hears Omi's voice reminding him, yeah, he left me as a reminder and said that I was the one that was to rebuild his empire. We fade to black on that and then get some flashy images of Max trudging through the snow again. He's getting closer to Stevie's screams. Damn, is she not dead? Fuck. Max sees in the middle of the street, there's some kind of celebration now that, like, the elves and Krampus have won or whatever.
Right.
And it looks like there's one of those parades in, like, Eastern and Northern Europe. I saw one just the other day, actually, in Austria.
Austria.
But bunch of torches lit, drums drumming, people, you know, walking up and down in Krampus outfits, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, same vibe going on here. One of the elves is holding Stevie, and Max screams, "Hey, asshole!" Krampus kind of snarls at him. He waddles his way toward Max, and Max yells, "I take my wish back. Give me back my family," and he throws the ornament at Krampus's feet, hooves. The ornament magically sinks into the snow, and an earthquake starts a-rumbling. The street starts cracking all over the place, and a giant hell pit opens up in the middle of it.
Sick, dude.
Everything starts falling into it. Krampus lands on the edge of it, and Max comes charging for him. All for Stevie? Dude, she was such an asshole to you, like, fucking 2 days ago.
That's very true. Yeah.
Max comes up to him holding some kind of crowbar or something. We get a real good shot of K-Man's face here. It looks pretty gnarly. It looks ancient, huge, white beard, mouth hanging open to reveal his jacked up teeth.
The K-Man.
The K-Man. Max drops his crowbar, and he's like, "Look, dude, I know you can fix this. Please give me my family back. Take me instead." And we see a bit of a glint in Krampus's old-ass eyes, surrounded by his gross, wrinkly face, and he takes his nasty claw and wipes away the tear on Max's cheek.
Yeah. Okay.
Krampus and the elves suddenly all start laughing at him, like mocking him. The elves push Stevie into the hell pit, and Krampus starts laughing his ass off. He grabs Max by the hood and holds him over the pit as well, and Max just looks at him and says, "I'm sorry. I just wanted Christmas to be like it used to be." I don't think Krampus is capable of closing his mouth. It's just been hanging open literally the whole time. Maybe not a great prosthetic design. But anyway, Krampus says he don't give a fuck, and he drops Max into the hole.
Mm-hmm. There's a terrible overhead shot of Max falling into the pit, too.
Yeah, it's not great. The screen whites out and zooms out into Max's room. He wakes up screaming and falls to the floor. He looks around, and it's Christmas morning. Oh my God, I just had the weirdest dream. You know, he opens the last door on the advent calendar, and it's good old Papa Noel.
Mm-hmm.
He comes downstairs, and everyone's down there hanging out. Everything looks perfect. A little too perfect, maybe. And there's a hazy gloss on the camera lens, so everything looks dreamy and a little too soft and nice, you know?
Right.
So the family's all relaxed and wearing their Christmas jammies and having a grand old time. Beth walks past Max, like, "About time you got up. We've been waiting forever." Howard, of all people, sees Max, and he's like, "Oh, hey, kiddo, we thought the sugar plum fairies might have gotten you." Okay, this is not my Howard. Something's fucking off.
Not the Howard I like.
Max is like, "What the fuck, you're all alive?" Aunt Dorothy goes, "Barely." So even in perfect dreamland, she's still like, "Fucking woke up again today, god damn it."
Right.
She goes, "I haven't felt this hungover since the Pope died." Tom notices something's up with him and asks if he's okay. Max goes, "Yeah, I must have just had a bad dream." Stevie yells out, "All right, enough of this sappy shit. Let's open the damn presents." Omi walks over holding another tray of hot cocoa and says in English, "Merry Christmas, Max." I think that's the moment right there. The moment when you know for sure something is very wrong. Omi's speaking English.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hell no.
Right.
They start opening presents, and Jordan gets some brass knuckles.
Yeah, sick, dude.
Looks over at Maxipad and gestures punching him. Oh, cool. That's pleasant. Sarah opens up a taxidermied animal of some kind. Howard says he had to reattach the foot. Max gets a present handed to him, but he decides he needs to give his mom a hug first. Aw. She's like, "What the fuck, bro? He goes, "It's nothing. I just love you guys so much." He hugs his dad, too. He opens his present, and it's the fucking Krampus ornament. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, shit.
Everyone kind of stops what they're doing at this moment and looks over at him, and it feels like they can all kind of sense something.
Like they all remember.
Yeah. And no one says a word, just kind of glancing around at each other. Omi looks at Max and looks away, kind of sad and ashamed, perhaps. And then a jaunty, jazzy version of Santa Claus is Coming to Town starts playing on the record player, and we zoom out, but there's just a funk in the air you can't really put your finger on, but something's definitely weird. We continue zooming out, and after we leave the front window of the house, we get a little bit through the front yard and then pass through, what's this? Another pane of glass? And then, holy shit, he trapped them all in a snow globe. We see Krampus remove his hand from the top of it. We see that he's got a shit ton of these things all over the place, presumably with a whole bunch of other families trapped inside.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ, no happy ending here, guys. This is very Jeepers Creepers, like zooming out through this little workshop while the happy music is playing.
Is that what you got? I got fucking Men in Black, so...
Yeah. Perfect marriage of those two movies.
My God.
We get one last jump scare before we cut to black. All the evil toys from earlier jump out and cut to credits. The end. Another cool thing about Mike Dougherty films is he always has some pretty sick credit sequences. This is another kind of cool one. Like, each actor is revealed through the advent calendar, like opening up another door on that.
Mm-hmm.
We actually get some wild shit revealed in the credits here. First of all, there are actual photos of, I'm assuming, the actors, but could be Mike Dougherty or the crew perhaps, like actual photos of Christmas memories. People sitting on Santa's lap and shit, like old Polaroids and stuff.
Oh, okay.
We also get some of the names of the characters that aren't family members or Krampus, and it gets fucking crazy. First of all, Krampus, I mentioned, played by Luke Hawker, like Hawko Lukey, dude, really? Lumpy, Dumpy, and Clumpy, who I presume are elves. We mentioned Lumpy's played by Seth Green. That's weird. That's like Vin Diesel playing Groot. Like, who gives a shit? He doesn't talk. Right under the character of Der Clown are a bunch of Nordic Scandinavian names I can't even come close to pronouncing. There's Ketkroker and Herdeskeller and Gillig Jaguar or whatever. I don't know what the fuck's going on here. And that's a lot of naming for characters that we don't ever get an introduction to any of them. Why take the time to name them and give them these complicated ass names? That's like way not important. We never knew any of that during the movie. Why are you going out of your way to distinguish characters that are in scenes that are actually physically indistinguishable?
Wonder if any of it was cut, you know?
Yeah, I guess
Possible.
maybe. We get Teddy Clow and TikTok as themselves. What the fuck? So there's more to this than meets the eye. I'm wondering if there's a Krampus comic out there or something, and that's where all this is coming from.
Right.
There's also Ruprecht the Elf and the Yule Goats. Get the fuck out of here. And with that, it's time for us to get the fuck out of here. Actually, there is a bastardized version of the Carol of the Bells playing. It's apparently called Krampus Carol of the Bells. And they're singing shit like, "Children, take care, please be aware. All that you've done will come to bear. Krampus will come, snatch up your buns. You better run," etc., etc.
Ew.
There's a special thanks to Peter Jackson and Fran Walsh in here. That was kind of interesting. I wonder what the connection there is. Also, in loving memory of Ramona Grace Dougherty, 1928 to 2012. Holy shit, it's been 84 years. Must be his Omi.
Yeah.
You know? But then that is the end for real. Overall, what'd you think about this one, man?
Nope. No, thank you. I mean, I'm glad I watched it. I've heard the name quite a bit. It's just not my cup of tea.
You just now know never to watch it again.
Yes. Howard had me laughing quite a bit. You know, it's just not my style of movie. You know,
I get it.
But like I said, good experience once. Definitely family friendly. You know, if you need something to watch that isn't tits and gore.
Right.
No, it's not the worst thing I've ever saw. I just couldn't get into it. A lot of the magic-y stuff it's just not me, you know?
Yeah. I've been trying to convince this dude to watch Lord of the Rings for like 2 years now.
Nope.
I get all that. I do enjoy this movie for something with a different vibe around Christmas. I don't like it nearly as much as I like Trick or Treat. It's definitely a little lighter and sillier, but I mean, I'm also a Halloween guy, so of course I'm going to pick the Halloween movie over the Christmas one.
Right.
But I do enjoy the tone, the humor in it, the lore and mythology. It's visually striking. It does a good job throwing you in the middle of the desolation, but otherwise, I feel like this movie is exactly fine.
Right.
You know? I gave this one 3 out of 5 snow globe cages. What about you?
Fucking Men in Black ending. like I said, I'm not a fan, man.
It's a solid 2, huh?
It's a 1 out of 5. It's not a rewatch for me.
I was thinking 2 out of 10. 1 out of 5 makes sense. Yeah.
Right. Same thing. Yeah.
If you're into this kind of stuff, if you need more Christmas content, whatever, I would definitely add it to your collection. It's fine, like I said. Stream it, check it out, and let's see if we can get Mike Doherty to make a Veterans Day movie or some shit. And he seems to like holidays. That's a weird one to throw in there. But yeah, I think that's about going to do it for us. We appreciate you hanging out. We had a good time. We hope you did too. Once again, we hope you enjoy the holiday festivities you might be getting up to. If you would like to get a hold of us, you can always do so by reaching us at cinebitespod@gmail.com. Check us out on all of our socials. We've got Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, all at CinebitesPod. And we've got a YouTube out there also. Go check that out. And if you would like to support the cause, you can do so by visiting cinebitespod.buzzsprout.com. Once again, Merry Christmas, everyone. And as always, dreams are fleeting. Only nightmares last forever. Follow your nightmares.
Kill her, Mommy. Kill her.
I bid you welcome.
Kind of wish that Jingle All the Way had just been him playing Santa Claus. Stop crying. Sit on my lap, little girl. What do you want for Christmas? A doll? Here's a grenade. Use it wisely.